This video will introduce you to the Linux Sound API, ALSA, the Advanced Linux Sound API. Now, what I've done is I've written a wrapper, much like I've done with on the Windows side, for the API for you. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to download a zip from eConestoga, and I've actually already done that. So I'll bring that to the desktop here. Audio linux.zip. Okay, you'll find this in eConestoga in the project. And what you want to do is we're going to copy this over to our Linux side. So you want to open up VMware. Okay, I've set up a whole new Ubuntu installation. And one thing to make sure that you have set here before you boot it up is under sound card. Make sure that you're using your default host sound card, okay? Because you want to use the one from your particular machine, okay? I've bumped up the memory and number of cores. You're going to have to decide how much you want to give to your virtual machine, depending on how much you have. Okay, so let's go to OK. And I'm going to play the virtual machine. Sure. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy this zip file over to our Linux home folder. I'm going to put it in Documents. Okay, I'll just pause it while it boots up. Okay, we're back. We're on the desktop. Okay, we want to go into our home folder. I'm going to put it in Documents here, and I'm going to copy, just drag it over to the Documents folder. Okay, it's telling me there's an error. I'm going to retry. It might be an issue with, there we go. Okay. Okay, so once we have it in our Documents folder, we're basically going to extract. Okay, so right click, extract here. Okay, we no longer need the zip file. I'm going to rename it right here. I'm going to remove so that I don't have to, because I have to navigate in the terminal, so I'm going to just rename it to audio. And everything is in here. Now, there's a couple of pictures here. It's just to remind me to tell you stuff. Okay. But anyway, we have our makefile. It's already been set up for us. We have our source, which has our interface and our implementation and our client. Okay, and then our interface is here in the includes. What I'd like to do is I want to open this up in, just to show you, we're going to open it up in Visual Studio Code. And I can move this over and take full screen here. Okay, so what we want to do, in VS Code, there's a couple of extensions I want to make sure you have installed. There's the C++ one from Microsoft. I suggest you install that. Okay, and also there's a project. Let me see if it's in here. It might not be in here. I'm going to say C project generator. I've shown you this before. It's by Daniel Pinto, so I install this one. It's basically how we generate. It just generates all those files, the source, the bin. It gives us a make file. Just nice to have. Okay. We don't really need it for this just yet, but because I've already set up the project for you. So open folder, and I want to go to my documents, and I want to open audio. And then see it's at the top right, say OK. Okay, so this has opened up our project, and we have, here's our make file. One of the things about this make file that's a little different than what you may have seen before is that we're including a library. So the -L is a library, and it's the A sound library. Now, we don't yet have this installed, so we're going to have to install it. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We have G++ here. It's actually not yet installed on this brand new copy. of Ubuntu. Anyway, what you'll recognize here, we're going to output all our executables, okay, into the bin folder here. That's where all our executables are going to go. There's one there, but it's an old one. Our includes have our, so we can go here and actually look at it. Probably what you want to do, you want to save these. Okay, so go in and actually uh, right here resave them, because sometimes there's a time difference. Okay, and save. And we don't need the old compiled version. I'm going to delete that. Sure. Okay. Now it's telling me that there's errors, and these errors are because we don't have the ALSA installed, basically. Okay. So what we have to do is we're going to try to compile it, and I'm going to show you that we're going to see a bunch of errors because we're missing G++, uh, we're missing ALSA. Okay, so we can do this in a couple of different places. You can go to the terminal, right, and go to, you say CD and then documents. Okay, we're in documents. Or what's nice about Visual Studio Code is that you have the terminal here, so you can say new terminal, and it's taking us right to audio, right to where we want to be. Okay, so we would have to say, okay, ls, right, and then we're in, the audio is there, but we're not inside it. While we're here, actually, in the terminal, one thing that you want to do, just in case, is to open up the permissions for this folder. Okay, so what I like to do is we're going to target audio. Okay, we're gonna give it permissions for read, write, and execute, and basically I'm just going to allow anybody and everybody to read, write, and execute to this. It's a security issue if this is open to the public, but for now I'm just going to make it nice and simple for you. The command is chmod 777. Okay, that means we're giving read, write, and execute permissions to user group and other. These are Linux things. Okay, so \r. This means recursive. So go into every single subfolder and every file and open up the permissions. Okay, and then the target is audio. Okay, and push. And now what you'll see is if you type ls, audio has a different color here, right? It's highlighted in a different color, and everything inside it is there. Now I just do this just in case you have any issues with permissions. So okay, that's fine. This is done. I'm going to close this. I've used the terminal here. Let's use the terminal right inside Visual Studio Code. Okay, I can actually close this out. Okay, should snap. Okay, and we're going to pull up the terminal. And there's a couple of things that we want to do. Let's say ls. I want to take a look what's in here. We have the make file. We saw that. So we know how to use the make file. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you that, if you don't have certain things installed, the error messages are going to tell you what to do. Okay. So if I type make, okay, the first thing usually we try to do is make clean, and anything in bin will get deleted. But because of the dates and stuff, it might be an issue. So make is not installed. Okay, so you see, we want to use make. If it's not installed on your machine, it tells you exactly what to do. You say sudo apt or apt install and then make. And we'll install make. You have to put in your password. Oh, sorry, wrong. Okay. So we're going to let make get installed. Okay, and so make is installed. Now we're gonna go to the next. So I'm gonna go clear. What happened? Where am I typing? Okay. So next thing we're gonna do, now make is installed, but we probably don't have other things installed. But let's go make clean just for. Okay, so that worked. But when I try to run make now, watch what happens. See right here. G++ command not found. We don't have G++ installed. Okay, it doesn't. It's not installed in our on our system. So what we need to do is we need to install it. Now I want to install not just G++. I want to install GCC. I want to install any other libraries that may be required. So what I'm going to install is there's a package called build essential. So what you want to do is you want to say sudo apt install build essential. Okay, and this is something that you should have if you're going to be compiling a thing. So it's 142 megs. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so we've now finished. We've installed build essential. Let's see what happens uh, if we try to compile. Okay, now uh, look, VS Code is telling us that we don't, you can't see it's having a problem with ALSA. Okay, so let's see what happens if we try to compile. So let's go again, make, run it, and see what happens. Look what happened. It's telling us that we don't have, okay, there's headers that are missing, okay, and what we need is we need to install basically the headers for ALSA. Okay, we need to install ALSA on our machine. All right, so again, ALSA is the Advanced Linux Sound API. Okay, so it's telling us what to do in order to install ALSA. So you can even just copy and paste. Actually, let me go clear so you can see it better. And then I'm going to paste. Okay, so its library is asound2-dev. Okay, and then just push enter. Sudo apt-get install libasound command not found. We might have an issue. I'm not sure why, but this works. What I'm going to do is go like this. I'm going to get rid of the apt-get for some reason. It might be. There's always little things, and it might be the terminal. Okay, so right here, this terminal might not be able to do it for some reason. I'm going to open up the main terminal, and I'm going to paste it in there. Command not found. Okay, let me see what exactly, why it's telling me. Oh, sorry guys. The dollar sign was the issue because I actually copied the dollar sign. So it's not the terminal. It was human error. Okay, so we have it installed now. There are some things we might want to clean up. You can say sudo apt auto remove to clean up any packages that are not needed. Okay, sure, no problem. We'll pause. Okay, all right. So let's go clear. We're actually good to go here. Okay. So what we might have to do, you see, it's still registering as being in error. You can save it, but what you really have to do for VS Code to detect it is to close it and then reopen. Okay. So I'm going to close here. All right, and you can reopen, and you'll see that everything is good now. Okay. Gonna close out of that. All right, so everything there's no more errors because all of the required headers have been installed. Okay, so we're at the point where we can compile, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's at the make file here. So we just did. So we're going to say make. We can do make clean if we want. All right, and then go make, and it's now been compiled. So we can actually use this program, and I haven't explained how it works yet, but basically, in order to run this program, the executable is in the bin. Okay, you see it's right here. This is our executable. So if you want to run it, you type dot. Let me see here. / main. Okay. Oh, I'm not in bin yet. So cd bin. Okay. Dot / main. And now it's going to record. It's already doing the recording right now, and you should be able to hear it. I'm going to go close to my speaker. And now it's going to record. It's already doing the recording right now, and you should be able to hear it. I'm going to go close to my speaker. Okay. It may have been lower for you, but you should have been able to hear my voice. What I was just saying before. All right. So this program does work. Now, the thing that I want you to be able to do for this week, um, this program, just like in the Windows side, it's a wrapper. Okay, it's a wrapper on the Linux Sound API, around ALSA. Okay, so what I have here in stream.h, this is our interface. Okay, I have the prototypes here. Prepare stream. So prepare stream, read buff, and write buff. Okay, prepare stream is required anytime you want to read or write to a buffer of some sort. Now, the buffer really is the buffer for the device. Okay, so if you're reading, okay, you're reading from the microphone if it's for sound. Okay, if you're writing to the speaker, but you're writing to the buffer. It's a hardware buffer in each of these two devices. Okay, um, and then you're taking that and bringing that into memory. Okay, that's how it works. Now, before you, just like with file I/O, okay, you have to prepare, set things up in order to start reading and writing from a buffer. Okay, so this prepare stream, it basically is done for each buffer that you're going to read or write to. Now, I'm talking about the hardware buffer here. Okay, so we're when we say read buff, we're reading from the microphone's buffer, and write buff, we're writing to the speaker buffer. Okay. Now all of these things, your job this week is to figure out exactly how this all works. Okay. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you some things to read in order to do that. Our sample time. I'm trying to make this exactly like what was in Windows. So the sample time is 6. Our sample rate. It's got to be some power of 2. Okay. So 16384. This is 655360. These are the number of bytes in each buffer. This is a set value. Um, anyway, you're gonna have to read through the documentation to understand why these decisions were made. That's your job this week. Okay. So here's our interface. These are just the constants that we're gonna use. And see between main and stream. Okay. So stream is these are the functions. These are going to contain prepare stream. It's going to contain the implementations for uh, read buff and write buff. Okay, so these are the functions that are written for you. Okay, and main is going to use these functions. Okay, now these are a bunch of variables. We've got variables that are constants, okay, from what we did in stream.h. We've got playback variables, we've got record variables, some variables that are used in common, the buffers, and some temporary buffers. And then we have the setup, okay? We have prepare stream. We call the function that we wrote in stream. Okay, so this sets up, so we're setting up our record stream, we're setting up our playback stream. Because this program is basically going to record, okay, record sound, which is what we just did, and it's going to play it back. Okay, and then once everything is set up and prepared, we start the capture. Okay, we call read buff, we read into our buffer, and then we write to the buffer that's our speaker. So we're reading into our buffer in the program from the microphone, and then we're going to write to the buffer that's the speaker, and that's where it's going to play from. Okay, and then we have to close it, just like we do with files. Okay, send PCM close. Now the reason that I wrote these three functions, prepare stream, read buff, and write buff, is because there's a lot of details that goes into recording sound. Okay, now your job this week is going to be to go through. Okay, so here are all of the API functions. Okay, at each step here, and why we have to go through these steps is explained. If you go to the top of main, I give you some of the resources that I used. Everything is explained in this first source. Okay, there's a whole write-up on what are the steps that you need to take, and what I did was I just packaged it for you in a easy to understand way. Okay, and if you have any other questions about that may not be answered in this document in source one, take a look at the ALSA project. Okay, so alsaproject.org. In there, you can actually do a search for all of the different functions here. Well, prepare stream I wrote for you in stream.cpp. Okay, these are the API functions: PCM open, PCM hardware parameters, set them, and your job again is to go through and figure out what these do and place comments, okay, over here, or make a video and then present that to us at the debrief. Okay. All right. So that's your job, and I'm gonna stop the video there so it doesn't get too long. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.